So yeah, I need to finish off the rest of the endings from this game. So that's probably what I'll go ahead and do. And depending potentially on how much time I have left, I've got a few other things up my sleeve as well. I probably should have gone ahead and looked for something first, though, before getting started. So there's this nice little flow chart for the original version of the game that shows all of the different choices and which endings they lead to. So I loaded up the one for that, and I tried marking off all of the endings that I've already gotten to. But then again, there's also the bucket variations that need to be accessed on some of these as well. So I should probably have tried to locate an updated version of the chart for the new Ultra Deluxe content, so that way I could have made sure that I've found everything. Nice thing though, I went to launch Steam and saw there was an update available for this game, and one of the things that they fixed today is that the game will continue running even if you Alt-Tab out of it, so that is always a plus. But it's time to bring in the sound on the game and hop right back into it.
This is the story.
Yeah, we've heard that already. Let's get to the... Let's get... Oh, there we go. Welcome back achievement. One of the new achievements from the new version of the game, which you obtain by leaving the game and then opening it again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, also I discovered that no matter which option you choose, you always get the get well someday balloons. So whether you choose get well someday or whether you choose the happy 12th birthday, whatever it was that it said, you just get this balloon. So this is good to know at least.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I also think our bucket is missing, or is it in the next room? There it is. There's Bucket.
Ah, the embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Yes, good old Bucket. Good old reliable, dependable Bucket. Also, I was reminded too of another thing that I need to look for. So we've got all these computers that we can turn off, but there's some of them that are expecting input. So I have to figure out exactly where it is that I'm supposed to turn on the computers so we can get one additional ending. It's kind of complicated because it's not all in order, so you like go through and hit some, and then you go back and hit some more.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Sounds good to me. I think the countdown ending should be the first of the new bucket content we should explore tonight.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
The stock market is somewhere here. Colored in segment. Stripes. Requires more secondary research. Yeah. So during the whole collectathon segment where we had to collect all of the little Stanley figurines, everything in that meeting room.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Everything was changed with a checklist telling you everything you needed to know in order to get all of the stuff.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Oops.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I might need to come back up here with... Where's the... This is too dark. Where's the elevator? There it is. There's the button. Too dark. Too incredibly dark. Also, why is this running at 120 frames per second?
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
As goofy as that would be, a plush bucket would be like the perfect
Stanley and the bucket walked straight
collectible.
ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Yeah, because you could just go to a hardware store and buy a metal bucket if you wanted to do like a Stanley Parable cosplay or whatever and have your bucket with you.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Yeah, it'd be especially cool too. You want to like snuggle up with your own plush bucket.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Also, I've always loved that little note that kicks in during this part.
He screamed into the bucket.
Oops.
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Okay, okay, there we go. Bucket. I had no bucket on title. Also, did we have... Let me get rid of this for a second. Okay, good. had the thing scrolled down a little bit. So, hello, Future Rush. How's it going tonight? Also, yes, hype. Much hype for Bucket. We're about to get the countdown ending with the bucket.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
This part up here in the corner kind of looks like computer code. I kind of want to see that a little bit closer up so I can read that.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
So last time we turned off the power, and the door opened, and then it stopped opening, and we were unable to escape with the bucket. So this time we're going to turn the power on.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Oh. Huh. Oh boy. Well, this is certainly different. I guess I'll do this one. Oh, okay.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Do we have a goose anywhere in there? I don't know. That was certainly different. Okay, let's go back there. So
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, that was significantly different than the original non-bucket version of the ending.
Two open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Also, we're going to try and see if this will work this time real quick.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
See, there's also another special reaction if you get over here and enter in the code.
Stepping into his manager's office,
before the narrator tells you what it is.
Stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Yes, and derpy. So, double cat. Double dose, double cats. Oh, sneaky. So this is like a 90-degree turn to the left. You got one, yeah. Uh-oh. That got really laggy. You were ready to swear to all. Let's see, 128. Okay. So if I tap F11 twice, that gets this thing being...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
That gets this thing properly, well, I was going to say properly frame rate limited, but the camera is still very unhappy. You're sure I was going to say no, it's fluffer nutter.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Yeah. Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Still need to get one of the achievements on this, which is the speedrun achievement, which has beat the game in like 4 minutes and something.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
You sure I was going to say it was Fluffer? Yeah. I think all the younger cats been hanging out downstairs today.
It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
So the narrator is going to be talking quite a lot after I activate this next segment, so... crap, and then while he was talking, I forgot what it was I was actually going to say here. Something regarding the cats? I don't know. Also, this is back to being jank again. Why is it being jank? Where is Radeon software? Radeon shell? That is definitely turned on. Maybe if I force this to on. Game is still running at higher frame rate than what it's supposed to be. Let's see here. Studio on per second. Let's just like refresh. Just this. Refresh. Yeah, because everything's getting like choppy, and I don't know why. It'd be great if they changed something in the update to the game that actually broke the thing that Radeon does to reduce the frame rate on it. Quick peek around here and there. Okay. Oh yeah, right. In the previous room, there's kind of another ending. It's called the disco ending, where you just wait for a while, and then you can press the light button instead of going up the elevator to activate that. But anyway, it's time to turn this on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted?
Oh yeah, I also didn't turn the narrator up all the way. Let's go ahead and do that now.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless, to see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
So yeah, none of the buttons do anything except make little beeping noises. In future, I was going to look up credits to the narrator. Yeah, it's Kevin writing. Actually, I accidentally found another game that he was doing the voiceover for. I don't remember how I ended up getting said game, but I loaded it up and I was like, oh, hey, wait a minute, it's him. Also, hi, Soth. Yep, so that's the countdown ending. Okay, let me consult my picture back here. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So here's another one, a Sam's...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Another Sans bucket ending.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this
Actually, I think the
immaculate,
dialogue on that just
beautifully
makes
constructed
sense.
but
We've
eager
already
to
heard
get
all
back
that,
to business,
so here we
Stanley
go.
took the first open door on his left.
Nope. Yeah. So
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
this next ending takes place in the
Look, Stanley,
area
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
with the
I'm not
sign
sure
that says
you
no
really
buckets
am.
allowed.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
So last time we got a different ending just by constantly going through the blue door over and over again. But all we need to do is just take the red door and we get yet another ending.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Also, I really like this impossible geometry. And now the door is on both sides and it leads to the same place, I think.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. And I think... Where was that at? I think we did reset before. Oh, no? It's on. Okay. I figured this would be another section that would give us another content warning, but maybe we have to actually start doing it first. Oh, actually that was cool. Got all those little nice explosions of color, in addition to the glowy lights.
No.
Okay,
wait.
there it is.
Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Yeah, this didn't have the...
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
That was a sudden odd change in tone. I guess those were not recorded on the same take.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
We're moving slower now, too. Must be limping.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Hey, Shadow. How's it going tonight? Yep, just trying to track down the last few endings in good old Stanley Parable. We have this very nice room, but this room makes the narrator happy. So, off we go again.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
I don't remember how many times back and forth.
No, what are you doing, Stanley? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
That double-triggered dialogue a little bit too quickly. Shadow's continuing Breath of the Wild obsession. That sounds like a good plan. And eventually you're going to be doing the 3-heart straight to Ganon route.
Boop, there's
Oh,
raid.
hey.
Beep boop.
Hey, Wild Base Camp Monster appeared. Holy crap, Base Camp Monster is playing Castlevania Symphony tonight. That's like my favorite game or something. Check them out right now. I'm pointing at the camera even though you can't see it right now. So welcome in everybody. And we got Ed Morex and Future Russian Slots and of course Base Camp Monster. So how's it going? I had the game up, but you didn't have content options, so I couldn't leave it open to see. I bet you won, didn't you? You beat the game, because you were, like, right on the point where that was gonna happen. Hey, Axio. No chucks. Yeah, this will be a chuck-free zone for the time being. Yeah, I'm working on getting more. You murdered the miserable pile of secrets, man. That's unfortunate, but you did beat the game, so GG. So just working on cleaning up the last few of these endings in Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Current ending that I'm working on did have a content advisory, so if anybody needs to duck out for a bit, because this is the part where you climb up here and you jump off of this ledge repeatedly.
Oh boy. The more times you do that, you definitely get slowed down.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Ah, look at the nice lights. Now notice that these are all square. Yeah, all square. But the glowing lights on the ceiling are gone now. Well, no glowing ceiling lights. I'm out.
No, perhaps not.
This is probably going to be the last one.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
W.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, did you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Do we have any more dialogue in here? Oh, and Morex needs to reinstall the original on Steam so you can get the achievement for not playing for 5 years.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I still thought that was possible.
Yeah, they've bumped that up a little bit for this version. It's 10 years now to get the new version of the achievement. Actually, I would need to check the date on when I got the achievement on the original version. It's quite possible that I might have turned the clock forward already and gotten it a long time ago. I assume the same thing would work for this version. I still don't have the play the game for an entirety of a Tuesday, either in this version or in the original version. So let's see. Secret Disco. I should have looked out a new flowchart.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Yeah, I mean, that's not supposed to be funny, but it's amusing the way the camera turns 90 degrees on that last one. You died again. Yeah. Let's see, we got that. Let's look over here. Oh, does this still work? Let's see if this works.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So, I'm not sure. I saw on here the face punch Easter egg might not have been carried over into this version. 419, 423. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can find all of the places where input is required. Where was 419? In here? No.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, 419. Input received. Okay, 423. Oh. You have to restart it each time? I guess you do.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Input received. Good. I'll just make sure to restart after each one, just to make sure we don't mess this up.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
This is another one of those special pseudo endings of sort by going through and
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
inputting at all the places. You know his coworkers are gone. Hey, cranky hero.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It would have been nice if there was a few more alternate dialogues for some more of these. But it seems like only certain rooms get the special treatment, like the employee lounge. Okay, and that was... Ah, yes, more GG on the murderating of... Well, that's another thing, too. If you don't actually murder Dracula, you can't have any more sequels, right? Because you gotta make sure he's dead in each game. Okay, 434, that's gonna be back at the start again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he could...
Alright, and the last one is Stanley's desk. Oh, and you missed... Okay, here we go. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. Buttons. It's like digital bubble wrap. It's great. Can we turn them all off, or do they turn themselves back on? Yep, they turn themselves back on. That's sad. Candy. Making them just chocolate, huh? Oh yeah, they turned off buttons. Ah, there we go. What's going on? Peek over, see weird stuff going on. Yeah, Derpy is living up to the name. Okay. Serious ending. I don't know if that's still in this version. Yeah, don't be weird, Derpy. If you go to bed half an hour early, will it put you in a better mood? I guess it depends. Half hour is nice. As long as you don't also get up a half hour earlier, too. You need to kind of go to bed half hour early, but still wake up at the same time. That's the winning combination. Here, we got that one. What's this? Oh yeah, we need to try that one now. Back to the start. It will come down to whether you sleep, I think. Yeah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Bucket, please.
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Not sleeping is bad for one's mood, yeah. Sometimes it seems like if I go to bed early...
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find out. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Sometimes too much narrator dialogue just to get back to where you want to be.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable.
At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, so if I go to bed early, I just end up laying in bed awake. But I end up laying in bed awake longer than if I had just gone to bed at the proper time. So it's just kind of irritating. So what I'm going for this time is the ending where you go up and down the elevator over and over again, but this time with the bucket.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Oh yeah, and I also found out that I went back to the room later and tried pressing all 8s again, and second time through it worked and gave me the achievement for that. It's so dark. Here we go. Cat's taking turn.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over.
So there's instances where Shadow is so tired that you feel like you can go to bed before midnight. You wake up by midnight, 10 a.m., and wind up awake until 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., which is worse than normal. Yeah.
After taking some time to show the bucket around the boss's office, Stanley at last went to the keypad, where he began eagerly pressing the number 3 again and again.
Base camp superpower. Ability to fall asleep almost anytime, anywhere. Yeah, that's... We could all probably use that.
Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Maybe the bucket enjoys the number 8 more.
Eight.
All right, Derpy. Derpy. Derpy wants to be weird tonight, huh? All right, well, back to the door.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Eight.
A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again?
Yes, he should.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
How could the bucket have turned on us after all we've been through?
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing.
The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
That's sad. That is really sad. Roller coaster of emotion.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Eight.
8.
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
So, I also have the Stanley Parable demo installed. So when I think we've covered all the endings there are to see in here, we're going to switch over to that, and everybody will understand where that whole 8
For
thing
months he
came
advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
And everything else up here is still the same. Oh, this is different. 2-stage. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Yeah, and even this, everything's a 3.
One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Yeah, also out loud. Good night while we're in between narrator talkings.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Wow. Oh, this is nice. So you can get back to the button room anytime you want to, just by inputting the last code there again. Let's see, actually, I don't think we have gone either the bucket or bucketless versions of not unplugging the phone. So, we'll
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
definitely did not do bucket list yet, so start with that one.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. What a beauty. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, on the bucket list. Bucket list. Yeah, whoa, what? Okay. Window popped
Stanley
open.
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee 427. Press K on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Please press I.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Please press B.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
That's not quick. Oof. Nice. Like the little swirly eyes. Also the tongue sticking out too. This is a perfect touch. Press O to watch TV. Okay.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Please press I to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Please press I to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy
there goes the
world,
kitchen.
he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it The Stanley Parable.
Please press in to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Please press B to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Please press O to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Please press Q to be at work in the morning. Of course, I know that the game will sit here forever until I push the button, so I have to push the button.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Please press Q to question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
It's funny, that actually kind of makes more sense than the other endings. Let's see, we'll try that one more time, but this time with the bucket.
Wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Different dialogue.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
It actually kind of feels like a throwback to the whole scene with GLaDOS telling you that the companion cube cannot speak.
In here,
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone,
said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
The beige pages. Hey, got a 8 sticker adventure line. I played the demo. 427. The freedom ending. Wait, what does that say?
8.
8. Yeah, something... I went to the mind control facility, and all I got was this lousy sticker. Perfect. This is a nicer apartment than the one in the original version of this ending. Oh, the clock isn't set. Oh, speaking of clocks, I accidentally missed out on something too. So at the start of the game in the new version, it asks you to set the clock, and then the game starts. Well, the second time launching it, I input the time again. It came up with a message saying, "Hey, thanks for actually bothering to set the clock instead of just hitting the OK button." And kind of had a little bit of dialogue related to that. Coffee pot, teapot. Did I open door? Thought I saw interaction thing. Alright, what do I... Oh wait, bucket. Hello Stanley, it's me, your bucket. Press T to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press M to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
It's kind of a neat jazz music poster. Press O to go back to work.
Well, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk.
Have sex
All it will
or
ever
jazz.
truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Oh, but that's where you're wrong, narrator. That's where you're wrong. Bucket does everything. Bucket is love. Bucket is life. Don't listen to the loud man. Press M for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
This room is neat with the mood lighting. Live. Love. Bucket. Press I to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Hang on there, narrator. It's my bucket. Mine. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press G to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Ah, our favorite TV show is on. Press J to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying?
Oh.
Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
This is cool, actually. The shadow of the bucket on the wall. Press F to go home, to work, to home, to work, to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
No, it's my bucket, my precious. Where are you? Where are you, bucket? Bucket. My bucket. Mine, mine, mine. I actually can't see the bucket. Is the bucket in here? Oh, the door opened. Oh.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Close your eyes. Bucket shrine. Go back to work, Stanley. I don't know. I think the bucket was wanting to get busy in the bedroom with that romantic candle lighting. Let's see. What else? What else do we have here? Did that. Maybe we can take the bucket with us to the button heaven.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
Creepy candle lighting? Yeah. Oh, right. We can't get in there with the bucket. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So we got... Did I climb out the window with the bucket? Let's try climbing out the window.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek.
Is this the place?
Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Whee!
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket?
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
Well, that was completely unexpected. Okay then, we got that, yep, that one's now done. And this one's also done. Secret disco. I'm not sure what this elevator one means exactly, although it's colored in orange as well, so it might just be secret bonus. Space. Okay, yeah, we did that one. That's all of them I know about. So I might actually have to go looking
How
up a
long was I
guide.
sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Yoink.
Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace, protective yet delicate, assertive yet compassionate.
I know there's also supposed to be an epilogue. I saw that.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Already took that path. The elevator down there leads to Adventure Line without the bucket, and talking about sequels and people wanting sequels to be exactly like the original game on the bucket path.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Okay, this is day number 295, tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Well, okay then. See, I kind of wanted a bucket now, but after that, I don't know.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's try going over there one more time then without the bucket and see.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
See, I
Perhaps
figured
he
that
wanted
whole
to stop
path...
by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I figured that whole path would have been done now that I collected all of the figlies, but apparently not.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply madly. Love.
Well, if a man can love a bucket, then why not a room?
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yeah.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path
Room
that it seemed
fetish.
the office had begun. So far off the beaten
Oh,
path.
okay, this
that
is
it
a
seemed
repeat.
The office had begun. So far off the. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Yeah, it would have to be an even bigger room. Get cozy with your slightly smaller sized room. Let's see. Back to menu. I don't know how much more there is to explore.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, well, goodbye, Bucket. We're now going to travel back to a pre-Bucket world where there was no such thing as Bucket. Also, this is permanently Stanley Parable 2 now on the title screen instead of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I don't know if clearing all data will restore it back to the original title screen or not. It's one of those things to investigate later. Let's see. Before there were buckets, there was the Stanley Parable demo. This has its own category. Boop. Oh, this reminds you of your goose with the crown that you won. Oh, is it wear the crown everywhere? When you go back and play the game after you get the crown? And do they have an option to turn the crown off in the options screen, or are you stuck with it? Stanley Parable demo. I'll have to switch what is being captured here. Whoop. Computer just beeped at me. Capture Stanley Parable demo. Back to this. There we are. The Stanley Parable demonstration. And this one loads a bit more slowly than the new game does. Old school beep sound. Yeah. It's the computer being all computer-like. When you reset, you don't have the crown with you. You have to get it from home. Okay. Ah, the Stanley Parable demonstration. It's a nice font. I like the simplicity, you know. Got a black text on a white background. Or start from a save. Yeah. Such a magnificent demo. Truly captures everything. It tells you exactly what the Stanley Parable is like. Wait, what? Oh, there's more. Oh, okay. No parking. Ooh, look at that. An orange arrow. Orange is such a nice color, especially when it's pointing. Stanley Parable demonstration this way. But let's take a look at these cars first. This is... Oh, and a truck with the cover over the top of the truck bed. My dad had a truck like that. This is a long time ago. Look at this though. Even in the demo, the sodas were $1.25 a piece. So apparently inflation has not set in for the Ultra Deluxe version. Untitled Goose Game, after you finish your after credits lists, you get a present at home. And when you open the box, it's a crown. You can drag it to a human and they'll put it on your head. Oh, that's very nice of them. For a change, they're not actually trying to take stuff away from you. Wonder what leads to them being so cooperative. Still, it's nice either way. Oop.
Welcome to the Stanley Parable demonstration. Your number is 28. When your number is displayed, please enter the demonstration room. Thank you, and have a pleasant demonstration.
Thank you, receptionist number 01, who is apparently invisible or something. Also, isn't there... Maybe we do not have subtitles. Or maybe, I don't know. Resume the demo.
8.
28. Oh, it begins. It begins already. Okay. Oh, warning, do not stand on this side of the fence. Oh, sorry. Waiting room. Please wait for your number and then enter. Thank you. Now serving 20. Oh. No, 21. This painting feels oddly familiar. What does this say? Can I read that? Oh, okay. Stanley... Yeah, Stanley Parable demo. It's fancy. They even got their own mugs made up and everything. 25. Oh, somebody spilled it. Left a stain in the carpet. So we have a nice potted plant in the corner, and you know what? I'm too impatient. Screw it. Oh. Never mind. I was gonna barge on in. Oh, this. Famous demos. Can't say I recognize that. Or that. Or is that Metal Gear Solid? I don't know. Not sure what that is. That actually looks familiar, but I don't know why. Oh, it's right outside. Got a lot of books in here. Too bad it's all just blurry textures and we can't read any of them.
Oh, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Stanley Parable live demonstration. It will be my pleasure to guide you through this sneak peek at what to expect in the Stanley Parable. A tease, just enough to leave you hungry for more. How exciting. Can't you just feel that nervous tension? The looming uncertainty? Why don't we drink in the anticipation for a moment, just for 20 minutes or so? Please, for just 20 minutes, don't move or act in any way. Simply remain motionless and let the thrill of demoing the Stanley Parable wash over you.
That would be funny to actually do it. But...
Oh, I get it. You're too anxious. You can barely hold still. Well, tell you what. I think we should walk off that nervous energy before getting the demo underway. Here, why don't I take you on a little tour of the facility and show you how we make a demonstration for a game like the Stanley Parable.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
This is where I and the other proctors have been working meticulously to construct a demo that explains clearly and concisely exactly what the Stanley Parable is, how it plays, and why you should spend real-world money on the main game. Video game demonstrations are tricky, and without the proper technology, you run the risk of the player having no idea what to expect in the full version.
So the Stanley Parable Demo Construction Facility. Also, I really love industrial settings. Just kind of kicking back here and just ignoring the ductwork going on overhead here. Skylights are also a nice touch as well. Got this raised catwalk. Every time I see a security camera now, though, I want to use the portal gun on it and cut it off. Make it fall down. Vital testing apparatus destroyed. Let's just say, danger, gravity in effect. I don't think it's possible to jump off of the railing in this, though. Demo admin number 10. Demo admin number 9. I guess they're out to lunch or something.
Here is one such technology. These buttons are meant to convey the meaning of choice and the impact of the decisions you make.
Buttons.
Choices carry tremendous meaning and consequence. Didn't you know that? Go ahead. Why don't you try picking one of these buttons to press, and we'll see what your choice says about you.
Oh boy. This one is calling out to me.
How fascinating. Did you know that 94% of all people who select that particular button are sexual predators? You see, our choices really do illuminate the very intangible nature of our minds and souls. Pervert. Okay, what else can I show you then?
Buttons.
This place is the buffalo of game design. Nothing is wasted.
Wall technology.
Now, I think you'll find this exciting. We've actually developed a wall that you can walk through. Go ahead, give it a shot.
Okay. Hello, wall.
Oh, guess it's still in development. Right, okay, moving along.
It needed to have an impact sound, like go, you know, or something. I mean, I guess really you don't have collision noises with any other wall, but it would have added to the scene a little bit had it gone, you know.
How's the anticipation? Still feeling it?
Demo status.
This device tells you whether or not you're inside a video game demonstration. Somewhere around here there's also a device that tells you whether or not you're inside a device that tells you whether or not you're inside a video game demonstration.
I mean, this is a pretty large device, but I don't think it's big enough for a person to actually fit inside of. What's this? No danger. Nothing in this room will kill you. Oh, well, that's reassuring. Compliments.
One of the most important parts of administering any demonstration is pumping up your ego and appealing to insecurities about your sense of self-worth. That's why we use this room to develop cheap compliments to shower on the player during the demo. Go ahead and press that button to see some of the superficial flattery we've been cooking up. My heavens, I've never met someone who can consume as much uranium in a single sitting as you can. Just look at you go. Of all the people I know who are playing this exact demo at this exact moment and standing in this exact room, your performance is easily in the top 5,000. Top 4,700 even. I won't go as far as 4,600.
Actually, I'm probably the only person on the entire planet playing this demonstration at this exact moment. I have no idea.
Let's see. Oh, this is embarrassing. I really can't think of anything else to say. No. You've really exhausted my list of compliments. Goodness, that was fast. Either you or this department has a lot of room for improvement. Okay then, what's next?
Let's see. Ooh, emotion booths.
Now here's what we use to convey story. These booths convert text from a story into raw emotion. Go ahead, step into one of them and feel the sheer power of narrative exposition.
Oh boy, we have discovery and we have despair. Discovery? Sure, why not?
It was though, and within the shame he carried that ocean breeze did drift, the fierceness of the tides, the inevitable collapse of their kingdoms, washed ashore, bereft of shame, martyrs devoid of a cause, ripping and tearing at the eternal seams. A vessel without a captain, carrying itself like plastic in the wind, hinting at a purpose that was truer in some distant memory, if only it could decipher through time's veneer, whose memory it wanted to be.
Sneezing yourself to death. I was just like paying attention suddenly to the text on the wall. Alright, well, it's discovery apparently. What's despair got for us?
Where did these cliffs go? These crags that we stood upon, they shielded us from our own ignorance, spoke coddling words and wrapped our vulnerabilities in a woolen cloth that so many times I tried to set aflame. If I knew these comforts now,
80s
would their
training
fibers be any more
montage.
sensitive to the heat of my touch? Perhaps it was the cold I desired most of all. That empress to whom my flesh was always invisible. A hammock for the bones, waiting to be touched and to be known.
Well, I don't know about you, but I think my heart has been truly touched. What else do we have here? Embarrassment? Confusion? Nah.
Now, we have to save at least a few emotions for the full game.
Oh. Waiting room. Wait a minute. Oh, what's this? Secret. Oh, that's loud. In case you ever wondered what the secret emotion feels like, there you go. That's it.
Oh, you went in both booths? Oh, how vulnerable of you. If at any point during the demo you need to cry, just let me know and we can take a minute.
Both. That was so secret the narrator didn't even know about it. Okay, so it's compliments, demo status, buttons and choice, wall technology. Out of order. Notice. Important rules for properly administering demonstrations. 1. Get right to gameplay. 2. Give a brief summary of the game's plot, rather than the full explanation. 3. Hint at the first boss, but don't give away exactly who it is yet. 4. Make all cutscenes skippable. 5. Demo should last exactly 8 minutes. 6. Players should not be confused. Oh. Art. Fragile. Well, I guess it's time to head over to final choice. I don't know, though. Something tells me I need to go check out the buttons again.
No, we've already seen this room. If it saves you the trouble of pushing another button, I can assure you that you're still a pervert.
Oh. He won't let me push any more buttons. Yep, exactly 8 minutes. No more, no less.
Ah, now this room is perhaps the most important you'll encounter in the demo. This is where we determine whether or not the demo has been effective. No! What are you doing? You can't make that decision yet. You haven't played the demo. We've put so much work into this demonstration. Wouldn't it be a shame if you rushed right into making a purchasing decision without savoring it first? Let this one simmer. You'll have plenty of time to decide later.
Oh. Exit.
And there you have it. Everything you need to know about how video game demos are made. However, it's still important that we address safety concerns. Please closely observe the following possible negative side effects of playing the Stanley Parable. If you agree to be held 100% responsible for any and all injury or long-term damage, mental, physical, or otherwise, that may occur while playing the demo, please do not press the large red glowing disagree button at this time. Nothing? No objections? You're quite sure about that? Well, all right then. In the event that you do experience one or all of the previously listed symptoms, let's establish a signal for you to convey to me that you wish the demonstration to be terminated. Please step into the dance perimeter.
And hey, Johnny B. Sweet. Yeah, Stanley Parable is such a great game. Demo is just as unique too. Yeah. I found just about everything that I can think of off the top of my head to find in Ultra Deluxe, so probably just going to look up the new flow chart so I can nail down the last few pieces of content later. But for now, we're looking at other sideways things to the Stanley Parable. In fact, I also have the original source mod installed at the moment, so we can even sneak a peek way back in history. But for now, we have this nice little box here that says Dance Perimeter. So
please perform a dance. Your dance has been recorded. In the event that you feel confused or disoriented by anything you see inside the demo, perform that dance and I will terminate the demo immediately. Right. All preparations have been made. It is time at last. Are you prepared for the Stanley Parable? Oh wait, what are we doing here?
Welcome to the Stanley Parable demonstration. Your number is 29. When your number is displayed, please enter the demonstration room. Thank you, and have a pleasant demonstration.
Well, I suppose 29 is a nice number and all, but 28 was a much nicer number.
Okay, I'm lost. Let's just get back to the green room and start the demo again. I must have done something wrong the first time.
16.9 ain't waiting. Let's go. The narrator gave me permission. Never been a game in existence that so thoroughly screws around with you, yep.
Okay, here we go. The Stanley Parable demo, take 2. Finding the demo, learning exactly what the Stanley Parable is. Here it comes.
Yeah, you definitely, because you got this, you got Doki Doki Literature Club, you got kind of, but not really, Undertale. It seems like a lot of games try to at least include a little bit of that aspect, that fourth wall breaking and just kind of that stuff like that. But, oh wait, what's this?
Oh wait, what's this?
8. 8.
Wait.
8.
This is all wrong.
8.
This isn't the Stanley
8.
Parable. This is a game where you press a button
8.
and it says 8. Not only is the Stanley
8.
Parable not a game about
8.
continuously pressing the number 8, I can guarantee that this button
8.
does not appear anywhere in the
8.
main game.
8.
Why is it here instead of the demo
8.
for the Stanley Parable?
8.
Where did the
8.
demo go?
There was an actual demo here before. Something has gone wrong. It's all gone horribly wrong. We need to get you out of here before you start forming impressions of the Stanley Parable based on whatever the hell this 8 game is. We need to get out. We need to start over. You mustn't stay here another minute. Out, out, out. Go, go, go.
8.
Now, I think perhaps you've misunderstood me, so let me reiterate as clearly as I can. This is not the Stanley Parable. What you are doing is pushing a button over and over that does nothing but speak the word 8. Has that gotten through? You may be continuing to press this button under the impression you're playing the Stanley Parable right now. An assumption that is, I should remind you again, entirely erroneous.
8. 8. 8.
Doesn't even make sense. Why would I have gone to all of this elaborate setup just to demonstrate a game that doesn't do a single thing except repeat the word 8? The waiting room, the green room, the tour of the facility, all of that for no reason other than to contextualize and build up this particular game. Why? What about this game deserves any of that time and attention? Are you seeing something in it that I'm not?
Boy, this is really echoed with the whole 3 section with the waiting room. Illuminati confirmed once again.
8.
8.
8. 8. 8. 8.
Okay, here's the deal. It isn't possible that you still think this is the Stanley Parable. I've restated the fact too many times, which means that you are now consciously choosing to delay the actual demo as long as possible. Is that it? Are you afraid of the Stanley Parable? I suppose another possibility is that you can't hear me because you're playing with the sound off. In which case, what are you even getting out of this 8 game in the first place? This scenario is perhaps even more concerning.
8. 8. 8. 8.
You really are finding this amusing, aren't you? The experience of pushing a button and it says 8. Is this intrinsically captivating to you on its own as a legitimate experience? I mean, I'm starting to wrap my head around the idea, but it's not all the way there. How do you get into this demo? Are you our target market for the game? Should I be concerned for the Stanley Parable sales numbers right now?
I just love this entire
8.
section of dialogue.
8. 8. 8.
The funny thing is, you haven't even played the Stanley Parable yet. How can you be sure that this is a better game? Is this simply more compelling than you imagine the Stanley Parable to be? Have you formed such a rich vision of the game already? What exactly did I do that gave you such a miserable, awful impression of what it's like to play the Stanley Parable? Was it the dance? Yes, it was almost certainly the dance. I regret that now.
8.
You want to meet the narrator, have a
8.
beer, and ask what the game did to his psyche? Yeah.
8.
Well, the good part is that if this is your metric for quality in a game, when we do get to the Stanley Parable, you'll be thrilled, shocked, blown away. Every one of your faculties will be enraptured by the experience of a game that does anything more than say 8 over and over. Yes, I can't wait for your entire world to be shattered and rebuilt. A magical moment we'll all share together.
Yeah, especially after the whole skip button segment from the Ultra Deluxe content. That really
8.
would have done a number on him. Alright. Oh wait, is there a side door? Am I actually supposed to go back out that way? Nothing hiding back here. Okay.
Oh goodness, finally. Now, let's get back to business and start this demo over from the top.
From the top, you say? Okay. Oh, wow. All the way up to number 74 now. That would have been amazing, though, if I'd stayed in there just long enough for it to say 88 when coming back out again.
Welcome to the
Yes,
Stanley
yes,
Parable
yes, we heard it all the
demonstration.
first time.
Your number is 30. When your number is displayed, please enter the
Exit.
Okay, now let's take a minute to get something straight here. When you sit down to play this demo, you are assuming an amount of responsibility for its outcome. Now, I can't say for certain whether you caused us to encounter the 8 game rather than the Stanley Parable, but I think it's a pretty safe assumption that you had something to do with it. At this time, please take a minute to think about all of the mistakes you've made in playing this demonstration, as well as your lack of respect for demo taking in general.
Yeah. Keep going. Dig real deep. Okay, wrap it up.
Wonderful. I could really feel the introspection on my end. Now that we're all on the same page again, I feel ready to attempt the demonstration once more. In this third attempt, we shall truly come to understand the meaning of the Stanley Parable. Let the demonstration begin.
Do like a petulant child. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be funnier if there was actually like an Easter egg where it was possible to not have the 8 game somehow.
What? No, it can't be over yet. You didn't see anything. Everything that was supposed to demonstrate why the Stanley Parable is a quality experience worth your time and money. It was here somewhere, I'm sure of it. Oh, no. We have to get out of here. We have to find something for you to do, anything. The demo cannot end like this. Hurry, this way. Okay, yes.
Storage?
This is new. This is different. Surely there must be a game somewhere in here. Okay. Oh, how about this cup? Yes, go pick up the cup. All right, now put it, in the bin.
Just like Half-Life 2. Oops.
You did it! You won! You know what you get for winning? An achievement. Wow, the Stanley Parable just keeps getting better and better. In fact, let me take a little survey of your experience. Based on what you've played so far, would you purchase the Stanley Parable?
A. I don't get it. What is this game? B. I'm on fire. Please, someone call for
You
help.
responded,
What a clear and straightforward demonstration of the merits of the Stanley Parable. I am convinced of the quality of the full game.
incredible. You really do get it. You understand. Oh, I was so worried. I just wanted you to know what I see in the Stanley Parable, what I think makes it, well, special. It's so very difficult to put into words. Oh, we're all beyond that now, aren't we? Come along, let's get to the end and the final choice.
And I want a text-to-speech that sounds like that. That's funny.
Ending, where are you? Where are you?
And then, of course, here's the disagree button that he wanted you to press if you did not want to agree to the side effects. Yeah, achievements in the main game are crazy, like the one we don't play for 5 years. They have upped that. It's 10 years now in the Ultra Deluxe version of the game.
Is this it? Yes, the end. Now, this is where we want the demo to be over. And I think it's time for you to log your final decision as to whether or not the Stanley Parable is any good. And it all comes to this. Please consider very carefully before answering. Much is at stake. Is it working? Are you sure? You sure you pressed the button? What? No, we finished the demo. Did it start again? Hello? Is anyone there? They already finished. They said they liked it. I need someone to stop the demo. Hello? We need to go back. We need to get out of here.
Yeah, happy anniversary. Don't even think about playing this for another 5 years. I need to try and see if turning the clock up on the computer will make it work, if you can cheese it. Gravity in effect.
Oh no, what's going on? Where is everyone? Okay, over to the left, down this way.
Isolation chamber.
Oh, Nice and quiet. Finally. Well, I suppose we can both agree that I failed, haven't I? My job was to be a teacher, and I so badly wanted to teach you exactly what the Stanley Parable is supposed to be, but somehow I couldn't. Well, at any rate, I don't know if I care for the Stanley Parable anymore. Do you think any of this is actually in the main game?
I'm going to need to be quick here on a screen that's coming up.
What would that even look like? No, I think I've had enough of it. No more doors, no more demonstrations, no more endings. That's the other problem with this game. There's too many bloody endings. I'm sick of them. How can one game end so many times? It doesn't make sense. Oh, but back at the beginning of the demonstration, now, that was lovely. No concerns about where it was all going. No confusion. Just a blank slate. Yes, that's what I want. A game of beginnings. Hey, do you remember, just a few minutes ago, when we met for the first time, and I showed you the technology used to make the demo, because I thought that actually was a demo. Oh, we were so naive back then. How little we knew of the world. And then, when we ended up back in the waiting room, even though you'd already done that before, yes, it's all so fresh in my memory. They were such wonderful moments. Oh, and then when we played the game with the cup and you won, and then we kept wandering and we ended up in a stairwell somewhere, and we just kept climbing and climbing, flight after flight after flight. I thought they would never end. And then we were on some kind of catwalk. I didn't have any idea what was down there. Did you? And we just kept going, and we found that elevator, and it said escape on it. And we talked about it for a while. About how we couldn't possibly know whether this was really an escape, but that it seemed worth a try, and at the very least it would be an adventure. So we got inside and we rode the elevator up and up and up. And we had some sense that the end was coming, but we couldn't possibly know when. And then after so long it finally stopped, and we stepped out into the lush outdoors, the trees, the wildlife, the sun rising on a new and glorious path. Freedom. We were free.
Hooray!
There was nothing to think, nothing to know. Simply us being right there in that moment. Wasn't it so beautiful? Wasn't that moment so singularly, piercingly beautiful? We were free.
Actual content from the real game. Oh, it just says no.